key clicks. So the saxophone is quite a big metal beast. It's made of lots of moving parts and they're mostly metal, so it can be quite noisy, particularly on the larger instruments. When we're playing normally, we try and avoid to have too much key noise. We try not to bash the keys about too much, but it is a sound that can be used for your compositions. You can take advantage of the sounds that the mechanical part of the instrument has. So let's go from, for example, written notes. So this is just going down a written B flat major scale. And you can hear it's not actually a written B flat major scale or a sounding A flat major scale. But if we close the mouthpiece, it'll be closer. It'll be the correct pitches. So if you want to use exact notes, if you want to have this kind of actual pitches with the key noise, you have to remember that if you want to write the pitches that you want to hear, this has to be closed. You have to specify that. So there is a difference, depending on the note, there's a difference of about a major second, maybe a little bit more. It's always good to have a saxophone on hand if you can try one, because when you're writing, for example, keyed pitches, say you want to write a little melody with the key clicks, that one, for example, works because they're all going down. But if you wanted to, say, for example, go up a scale, you have to remember that the keys, some of the keys are lifting up, some of the fingers are lifting up, and we're not going to hear in the same way as we will here. It will make a sound, but you have to remember that when we put the fingers down is when we're going to hear the pitch. But in the same way, when we put the fingers down, they have to come up to go back down again. So you're going to have this kind of release sound between them. So you can either incorporate that into the rhythmic thing, or just hope the performer can make that release sound as subtle as possible, which, depending on the saxophone, maybe your pads are a bit sticky, you might have a bit, you can hear that. My pads are a bit sticky. But it is possible. But it's maybe not ideal. Afterwards, you have lots of these keys here. The notes that I was using just now to demonstrate those kind of resonant sounds, that's the lower octave of the saxophone. So from a written B flat on all the saxophones, a written A on a baritone saxophone. The reason for that is once we put the octave key on, it's not going to make any difference. It'll make it a little bit less resonant, if anything. That's with the octave key on. That's with it off. Because that mechanism is working with the waves when the saxophone is actually being played. This is just working. This is just using the resonance of the instrument itself. Sometimes composers will just write, for example, key noises. Here are a few examples of ways they've been written, maybe with X's or something, and the directionality of them is often there. So you can kind of specify that a performer goes from low to high just using key noises. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get a pitch there, but it does mean that their fingerings will probably correspond with lower or higher notes. Afterwards, you could specify individual keys if you really like the noise that they make. For example, the B flat key, B key, C sharp key. On my saxophone, that's very loud. It'll depend on all the different saxophones as to the noises they make. G sharp, C, E flat, T F, C5, T A, T C, C3, C1, C2, C4, X. They all sound a little bit similar. Obviously the bigger saxophones sound louder than the other ones because they're bigger. I'll just play up a chromatic scale starting from a written low B flat on each of the saxophones, once with the embouchure open and once with the embouchure closed, so you can hear the difference in pitch on each of those notes. I won't articulate the notes with all the fingers each time, because you get a more resonant sound if you just use one. For this saxophone, I'll include the low A, so this is chromatically up from a written low A, or a sounding low C. So it's quite a subtle effect. It's not extremely loud, but perhaps when you're looking for something to orchestrate with maybe tongue rams on the flute, or something that is kind of resonant but non-sustained, that's a nice sound that you can use on the saxophone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one, and write what you're working on in the comments so that we can come and check it out.